I'm not going to teach you to use anyone against them. That framing is weak, reactive, and it destroys trust. What I will give you is far more dangerous, in the best possible way. I'm going to show you what many women quietly desire at a psychological level according to research and field-tested methods, and how to align your behavior so attraction grows willingly, ethically, and unmistakably. If you want a manipulative trick, leave now. If you want presence, polarity, and a standard that makes her lean in because she wants to, stay with me. In the next minutes, you'll get precise moves you can apply tonight. The calibration signals to stop over-investing. The 2 questions that trigger deep disclosure without prying. The stoic habits that make you unshakable under pressure. And the exact moments to create tension and release so her nervous system relaxes into your frame instead of bracing against it. Ready? Ask yourself a ruthless question. If you disappeared for 7 days, with no posts, no stories, no good morning texts, would she feel the absence as a relief, a curiosity, or a loss? That answer tells you your current value. It reveals whether you've been giving her what she actually craves or flooding her with what you want to give. Most men misfire because they've been taught to persuade with words while neglecting the one thing that influences silently and constantly: state. A woman reads your state faster than she hears your sentence. Before any strategy, we fix state. Stoicism is not emotionlessness, it's emotional command. Marcus Aurelius wrote about choosing the response, not the reflex. In dating, that translates to 3 anchors: slow breath, slow speech, slow decisions. Slowing down is not passivity, it's power transmission. It signals to her limbic system that you are not threatened by time, uncertainty, or outcome. When you slow down, you become the frame, not the painting. Frames attract attention, paintings chase it. Let's clear the myth that women are impossible to understand. Untrue. There are individual differences, but decades of psychology converge on stable patterns of desire. Evolutionary psychologist David Buss finds that women, across cultures, consistently value traits that indicate protection, provisioning, and potential. Status signals earned through competence, capacity for commitment, and, crucially, a man's willingness to invest selectively. Selectively, not endlessly. Cialdini's principles, scarcity, consistency, social proof, show up in romance as naturally as in markets. Self-determination theory, D.C. Ryan, explains why autonomy, competence, and relatedness produce vitality in relationships. Gottman's research on bids demonstrates that turning towards small attempts for connection predicts long-term success. Esther Perel's work reminds us that desire needs distance, mystery, and risk to stay alive. Put these together and you get a clean map. She wants to feel safe around you but not bored by you, understood by you but not owned by you, chosen by you but not smothered by you, led by you without being controlled by you. Hold those tensions well and attraction compounds. Here's how you do it in practice. First, make safety visceral, not verbal. Safety isn't a sentence like, "You can trust me." Safety is your non-reactivity when she disagrees, your steadiness when plans shift, your ability to hold eye contact without demanding it back. In conversation, don't interrupt to fix, reflect to clarify. I get the part about work politics. What's the piece that's actually draining you? Lack of recognition or constant urgency? Notice the structure. Simple mirror, clean fork, low pressure. It's Gottman's turn toward, applied with masculine brevity. If she shares something emotionally charged, acknowledge, then calibrate your pace. Do not rush to humor or solutions. Let the silence breathe for 3 seconds. Silence creates the container. Words fill it. Second, signal selective investment. Scarcity is not playing hard to get, it's being hard to replace. You create that by tightening your standards and schedule. Don't text all day. Maintain the 2-window rule. Initiate once per day and respond in 2 focused windows, not a drip feed across 18 hours. It prevents the ambient boyfriend effect, where you give constant microdopamine and get no momentum. When you propose plans, anchor time and place like a man who values his calendar. Thursday 8:00, Jazz Bar on 7th, I'll book the corner table. If that's tight for you, propose another evening with the same vibe. Decisiveness plus flexibility. Strong offer, soft edges. If she delays without suggesting alternatives, don't chase. Your lack of reactivity is the attraction. Robert Greene calls it strategic patience. In Stoic terms, it's a refusal to be pulled by external volatility. Third, embody competence in micro behaviors. Competence is sexy because it predicts safety and status without bragging. Your body tells that story first. Shoulders back and down, chin neutral, feet planted, speaking from your diaphragm. Your logistics tell it next. Opening doors not as performance but as smooth choreography. Navigating without checking your phone every 30 seconds. Ordering decisively and checking for allergies once, not thrice. These are tiny, but women notice the pattern you live in, not the claims you make. Dan Ariely's IKEA effect shows people value what they invest effort into. You harness this by inviting participation. Instead of over-curating a date, design one movable piece. I'll pick the spot. You choose the dessert or the final drink. Shared creation creates co-investment. She gets a small stake, which increases satisfaction without ceding leadership. Fourth, cultivate attunement without submission. Attunement is reading the room and her nervous system without becoming a weather vane. You do this with calibration checks. On a scale of chilled to adventurous, what's your current setting? Use spectrum questions. They are specific, low friction, and they pull real preferences. Women desire being seen without being interrogated. Swap. So tell me about yourself for 3 clean vectors. What are you building this quarter that most people don't know about? What's your recovery ritual after a high-stress week? What's a tiny hill you'll die on, some weird rule you insist on? You'll get ambition, self-care, and boundaries in minutes. With each answer, reflect one layer deeper. Content, emotion, meaning. Content, the surface facts. Emotion, the felt experience. Meaning, the value behind it. You're mentoring 2 juniors, that's the content. It sounds energizing and draining, that's the emotion. I'm hearing a value for craftsmanship, that's the meaning. That sequence makes people feel profoundly understood without you oversharing to compete. Fifth, install polarity through clean challenge. Polarity is not aggression. It's the electric contrast between your directed energy and her exploratory flow. You build it with invitations and thresholds. An invitation is a warm direction. Let's walk 3 blocks to the rooftop. The view is worth it. A threshold is a container with a rule that upgrades the moment. New rule for the next 15 minutes. No work talk, only travel and food. You've just given structure and play simultaneously. That's masculine leadership at a micro level, and it's deeply attractive because it removes decision fatigue and introduces novelty without risk. Esther Perel would call this creating an erotic space through boundaries that make room for freedom. Sixth, master the tension release cycle. Desire builds in arcs, not in lines. You escalate with a glance that lingers half a beat longer than comfortable. Then you release with a grin or topic shift. You sit closer, let your knee brush hold the moment. Then you lean back and ask a playful either-or like spicy dim sum or life-changing tiramisu. We can't be friends if you pick wrong. You pause before a compliment. Then deliver it with specificity and brevity. The way you argue is surgical. It's hot. Granular compliments beat generic ones because they prove attention, but you don't stack them. One arrow, then space. Intermittent reinforcement in labs creates addiction. In humans, ethical use of tension and release creates fascination without games. The line you never cross. Anything that sabotages her self-worth. Tease ideas, not insecurities. Seventh, lead with standards, not demands. Standards are self-updates. I don't do lateness without a heads up. I don't engage in texting wars. Let's talk in person. I don't cancel the gym for a date. Demands are attempts to control the other. Standards signal backbone. Demands signal insecurity. Walter Riso and cognitive therapists align here. Boundaries protect dignity. When you enforce a boundary, be brief and calm. No justifying, no lecturing. Let's try another time when we can both be present. If she values you, she'll step up. If she doesn't, you've filtered cheaply. Screening is part of attraction. Neil Strauss talked about pre-selection and screening from a pickup angle. Mature attraction reframes it as mutual fit. You are not trying to win everyone. You're selecting the one who fits your rhythm. Eighth, Build social proof ethically. Social proof isn't bragging or flaunting other women. That backfires with quality women because it smells of insecurity. Social proof is being embedded in a tribe where you contribute and are respected. Host small dinners, curate nights around a theme, jazz and old fashions, hike and tacos, art and espresso. Be the gravitational center. It telegraphs that your life has momentum with or without her. Robert Cialdini's principle operates silently when others respond to you warmly, and you make things happen. A woman reading your world wants to know, if I step into his orbit, will my life become richer, fuller, safer, more fun? Let your ecosystem answer yes before you do. Ninth, practice scarce transparency. Mystery is not lying, it's pacing revelation. You don't download your entire biography on date one. You share just enough to create a contour, then you pivot back to the moment you're in. If she asks a direct question, answer it cleanly, then ask one. Keep a 60-40 split where she's talking more, but your words land heavier. Scarce transparency also applies to digital life. No oversharing on stories, no performative status posts. Let your presence be discovered in person. Esther Perel's insight is brutal and true. Desire needs space. If you collapse all space with constant updates, desire starves. 10th, move with decisiveness. Indecision is low-grade anxiety leaked onto the other person. Practice rapid, reversible decisions. Where to meet, where to sit, which bottle to open. Save deliberation for big choices. This tells her that in chaos, you act. Women aren't drawn to recklessness. They're drawn to clarity. The Stoics divided the world into control and no control. You embody that by choosing quickly among good options instead of searching endlessly for perfect ones. If she says, I don't mind, you pick, don't loop the decision back. Pick. If she later expresses a clear preference, adapt without apology. Strength without stubbornness. 11th, sharpen your questions to expose values and amplify chemistry. Good questions create intimacy. Great questions create polarity. Use time-bounded imagination. If we had a 2-hour bubble tomorrow with 0 responsibilities, how would we spend it? Use aesthetic maps. What city makes you feel most yourself and why? Use micro-rebellions. What's a rule you secretly break that I'd approve of? These questions let her show you her edges. When she reveals a value, adventure, craftsmanship, loyalty, reflect it and propose an aligned move. Then we should skip the loud bar and hit the speakeasy. They make one drink and make it well. You demonstrated listening, leadership, and customization in one line. 12th, upgrade your compliments and challenges. Compliments must be unbanked, no exchange expected, and as specific as a painter's eye. Your curiosity arcs. You don't jump topics, you braid them. Keep eye contact, deliver, go back to the topic. Challenges keep spice alive. You're dodging the question. Try again, but with courage. Notice the tone. Playful, not punitive. Polarity collapses when you become a sycophant. It spikes when you remain kind and unimpressed simultaneously. 13th, develop clean physicality. Touch is a language. Start with social zones, shoulder, upper back, in contexts where touch is normal, guiding through a door, steadying on stairs, punctuating a joke. Read her body immediately. Leaning in, softening, mirroring. Green lights, freezing, leaning back, short answers, red lights. Consent isn't just verbal, it's visible in microsignals. If you're unsure, ask simply, "Come here," holding out your hand. If she takes it, proceed. If she hesitates, smile and pivot. Nothing builds trust like a man who moves forward and can also stop himself. Command includes breaks. 14th, respect pace while keeping momentum. Momentum means the environment keeps changing. Bar to walk, walk to rooftop, rooftop to dessert. Pace means her comfort sets the speed of intimacy. You can escalate setting without escalating intimacy. That's how you avoid stagnation without pressure. Remember the first and last 10% rule. The first 10% of the interaction sets the tone. The last 10% sets the memory. Begin grounded, end earlier than she expects. Leave her a little hungry. That's scarcity done right. 15th, manage digital attraction with stoic discipline. Texting is for logistics and light flirtation, not for building a relationship in the cloud. Use voice notes sparingly. Your tone conveys more status than text, but overuse feels like performance. Avoid question chains. Replace why-eyed with a concrete pull. I'm tasting 2 espressos Saturday afternoon. If you behave, I'll let you judge blind with me. If she goes silent, don't punish or pursue. 2 pings total over a week. If no response, archive the thread, mentally and literally. Your attention is your kingdom. Don't spend it where it doesn't multiply. 16th, audit your life for the 3 A's women gravitate to: ambition, aesthetic, adventure. Ambition, not hustle theater, but a clear project with milestones. Aesthetic, the visual coherence of your world, your clothes, your space, your taste. Goffman would call it your presentation of self. Adventure, newness, novelty, narrative. Plan 1 micro-adventure per week. Gallery opening, sunset hike, underground comedy, live blues. You aren't a tour guide. You are a curator of moments. She doesn't want you to entertain her. She wants to be invited into a life that already entertains itself. 17th, install the discipline that keeps you rare. Baumeister and Vos demonstrate that self-control functions like a muscle. Train it. Digital fasting, cold showers, 30-minute deep work sprints, strength training. Your nervous system becomes more stable. Your eyes get quieter. Your presence thickens. Women feel that before they see the details. It's not aesthetic alone. It's vibe produced by routines you keep even when nobody's watching. That's masculinity without noise. 18th, communicate desire with clarity. Ambiguity is where fear hides. Say what you want without pleading or pressure. I'm attracted to you. I'd like to see where this goes at our pace. If you're ready to kiss, align the frame. Hold her gaze. Reduce words. Move in slowly enough for a decision. Not so slowly it's awkward. If she turns cheek, smile, and keep the connection. If she reciprocates, own it, and then ease off first. Leaving oxygen keeps the fire alive. 19th, learn to disagree without heat. Disagreement handled well deepens respect. If she states a view you don't share, try the Steelman. So if I'm hearing you, you're saying X because of Y. Then your take. I see it differently because of Z. Keep your voice low, slow, and shorter than hers. Most men either fold or fight. You will stand. This shows that your approval can't be rented by agreeing with everything. That's deeply attractive because it implies you'll also protect her from the world, not just from boredom. 20th, apply the 5-1 ratio in your own style. Gottman found stable relationships run roughly 5 positive interactions for every negative during conflict. In attraction, think of positive charges as micro wins. A shared laugh, a quick toast, that's clever, a light touch, a choice you make that she enjoys. Negative charges are friction, logistics failing, interruptions, defensiveness. Keep your ratio high by planning environments that make wins easy. Quiet corners, good music, comfortable seating, lighting that flatters, staff that recognizes you. Yes, this is strategy. Romance is not the enemy of planning, it's the reward of it. 21st, protect your standards around sex. Do not attempt to earn intimacy through favors, gifts, or pressure. It poisons polarity. Lead logistics that allow for organic escalation, time, privacy, comfort, and let her decide the moment with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the only green light. Anything less is a red. A man who can stop himself becomes unforgettable because restraint under desire signals power. Paradoxically, that restraint often accelerates trust and deepens attraction. 22nd, become a man of crisp language. Words create frames. Replace filler with force. Maybe we could becomes let's. Sort of becomes silence. Use the present tense to bring moments alive, not, it would be cool to see the view, but we're going up, the city looks insane from there. Language that moves forward pulls her with it. Your voice carries your decisions. Write them well. 23rd, practice the 1-minute reset. If you feel yourself chasing, shrinking, over-explaining, excuse yourself to the bar or the restroom and reset. 3 deep breaths. Drop your shoulders. Recall your standards. Decide your next move. You are not at the mercy of a bad minute. You are the man who can rewrite state mid-game. That meta-confidence bleeds into everything you do. 24th, adopt the invite and exit philosophy. Invite her into high-quality experiences and, if energy stalls, exit gracefully. I like you. Tonight's not peaking. Let's stop here and try again when we're both sharper. That line is advanced. Use it only when you mean it. It shows you won't grind through mediocrity to avoid discomfort. That's rare and magnetic. 25th, create rituals that become ours. Shared rituals turn dates into stories. It can be as simple as a signature toast, to brave choices, repeated whenever you meet, or a small tradition of rating desserts on a secret scale. Rituals build intimacy without pressure and give you continuity that text cannot provide. We remember people through the rituals we share with them. Now, I'll hand you a set of concrete tools you can deploy immediately. Use them with integrity. First, the ACE listening loop. Acknowledge, curiosity, elevate. Acknowledge with a short mirror. You hate surface-level talk. Curiosity with a laser question. What's the conversation you wish more people had? Elevate with a value read. So depth matters to you because it wastes less life. That loop makes her feel discovered instead of dissected. Second, the 3-tier invite. A core plan, a contingency, and a call-off. Drinks at 8 at Bar X. If it's crowded, we'll pivot to the hotel lounge across the street. If you're slammed, we'll shoot for Saturday. You look decisive and flexible. Third, the 2 compliments. 1 challenge cadence across an evening. A precise compliment early, a playful challenge midway, a quiet compliment late. It builds respect, play, and warmth in proper sequence. Fourth, the text funnel. Open with a callback to something specific. Propose a time-bound plan. End on a light tease. Your tiramisu take is still wrong. Thursday 8 UI will settle it. Loser buys espresso. If she counters with, I'm busy, you hold frame. Understood. Propose your best night next week. You're not a concierge. Fifth, the no justification boundary template. I don't behavior. If that's a match, great. If not, no worries. No reasons, no essays. Sixth, the calibration question, mid-date. Are we more in a mischief mood or a deep dive mood right now? Her answer gives you the next move without guesswork. Seventh, the slow blink presence check. If you catch yourself rushing or performing, deliberately slow your blink for a minute. It relaxes facial muscles and voice tone, making you look and feel unhurried. Eighth, the one-line story method. Share a tiny, vivid line from your life that implies richness without monologue. I learned to make old fashions from a retired jazz pianist with a scar and strong opinions. That's it. If she wants more, she'll ask. Ninth, the hand-over-hand leadership cue when moving through space. Extend your hand, palm up, and say, this way. If she takes it, you lead. If she doesn't, you adjust. It's clear, non-coercive, and attractive. 10th, the early leave amplifier. Leave 10 minutes before the energy dips. I'm cutting out on a high note. Kiss her cheek if appropriate, hold eye contact, walk away. Your memory in her mind stays bright. 11th, the one promise, one delivery trust builder. Promise a tiny thing, I'll send you that jazz playlist. And deliver it same night. Reliability is erotic. 12th, the 5-minute flow state primer before any date. Stretch hips and chest, 2 minutes of box breathing, 5 power statements in your head. I'm grounded, I lead, I listen, I choose, I can walk away. You arrive as the cause, not the effect. Everything you've heard aligns with research and real-world observation. Buss on preferences, Cialdini on influence, Gottman on bids and ratios, Daichi and Ryan on motivation, Ariely on effort and value, Perel on eroticism and mystery, Stoicism on state and standards. The thread through all of it is simple. Women desire the experience of a grounded, directed man who sees them without worshiping them, who leads without controlling, who invites without chasing, who can escalate and can stop, who has options but chooses with intention, and whose life is already in motion. You don't get that by memorizing lines. You get it by becoming the man who naturally speaks them. Tonight, audit your calendar, your standards, and your rituals. Tighten what leaks. Add one micro-adventure to your week. Draft one clean invitation. And when you're with her, slow down, notice more, speak less, decide faster. Attraction is not a trick. It's a transmission. And when your transmission is clear, she won't feel played. she'll feel pulled willingly into something worthy.